Just be honest.
Okay.
And then I know, that fear is, especially when you're hungry, and you're an investor and you got this great deal and you realize you can make some money from it. And you're like, man, I don't want to red flag. I don't want to flag the property manager because they didn't know this thing is for sale and they're going to try to go behind me and take it, or the owner's going to try to take. I mean, trust me, I know exactly what is going through your mind. Been there, done that. That's when I will notify my fellow mobile home park owners and managers, hey, this person, nice guy, nice girl, but they are not going to come and tell you. If you see them, that means that they've made a deal behind your back and they're going to come in and they're going to take a home out of your park.
John Fedro with mobilehomeinvesting.net. In this video, we're talking about moving mobile homes, or one specific aspect when it comes to moving mobile homes. And before you click off this video, if you are dealing with mobile homes, if you are buying mobile homes and selling them, you are buying them yourself to live in, you are going to deal with moving a mobile home. And this video may pertain to you because when you're moving a home out of a mobile home community, there are mobile home communities, the parks, that they may want the mobile homes moved out of their community. They may not want certain homes in the park. The homes are older, they want to get rid of those and bring in new homes, or some mobile home parks are converting from mobile homes over to just RVs, so they want to get rid of the mobile homes and they're selling all their mobile homes. Or the mobile home park is closing, or the zoning is changing, so some of the homes have to go. So some parks want some homes to be removed, and some people have like pieces of land where a home has to be moved. We're not really talking about that, because if the homes are fine to be removed, there's really no dilemma there, as long as you can find a buyer, you can find a mover, and everything is legal and ethical, and you can make a profit, and it's win-win-win all the way around. We're dealing in this video with mobile home parks, and there's plenty of them that do not want you to remove the mobile home from the community. We're going to talk about the pros, the cons. This is sort of the real world. So what do we do in situations? We're going to talk about a couple strategies as well. This video that you're going to watch, this interview with Stephanie, who is an amazing investor, which we're going to talk about that in just a minute with an introduction about her. But this video was supposed to be just a snippet within a larger video talking about moving mobile homes from A to Z. And this was just going to be a small snippet talking and interviewing a park manager. But everything that we talked about, I just want you to be a fly on the wall and listen in to what is on a park manager's mind. Yeah, let's just jump into that video. At the end, we'll wrap up and talk about what we learned and some takeaways, and we'll talk soon. Let's head to the video. I'm just gonna start. Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for being here. Please, for the folks listening, give a quick introduction of who you are and why you know so much about mobile homes.
All right. Well, my name is Stephani McAnuff. I am a broker, property manager in North Carolina, South Carolina, and I'm also licensed in Georgia. I currently manage 10 mobile home parks throughout North Carolina and South Carolina. They total close to 200 lots. I'm also an owner of a mobile home park in South Carolina. I've been investing in mobile homes and involved in mobile homes since 2007. This year alone, I've in my spare time, have flipped or rehabbed 10 homes this year. That's pretty much me in a nutshell. I live, breathe, and love the mobile home park space. Mobile home. I don't breathe too deep because sometimes it's a little rough on the nose, but yeah.
Oh, jokes too. That's funny. Yeah. I was gonna say, what's the matter with you, loving mobile homes so much?
Well, before I answer that question directly, I think it would be good to speak of what is the role of a property manager and what is an owner looking for when they have a mobile home park or a property.
Yes.
And I think that's going to help lead into my response and my reaction.
Perfect.
Of when pulling a home out of a park. The thing is that, a property manager, our role is to maintain the property. and maintain the appearance of the property. And that's more than just picking up trash on the ground. That's making sure that our homes are in good condition, and believe it or not, that we don't have a lot of vacant lots. The other thing is that we want to preserve and increase the value of a property. Okay, so that's for a property manager as well as an owner. And then of course we want to collect rents, etc. So now if we go back to answering your questions, you know, what is my reaction if someone came to me and wanted to pull a home out of my park? My reaction would be like, no, you know, please do not remove a home from my park, because I have a role as a property manager to maintain the appearance and to keep the value as the owner. So if you pull this home out of the park, a home that's functioning, meaning that it's collecting rent, not something that's sitting there abandoned, you know, or something like that, but something that's bringing in revenue. If you as an investor come in and want to take that home out, then you just decreased the revenue coming in, which is making my job harder. And then the owner as well is looking at me as the manager saying, what are you doing to my revenue? So.
Is there any situation, you mentioned if there was a vacant home already, does that change thing? If for some reason the park did have 3 or 4 vacant homes, would that change your attitude of, hey, I want to buy that home and get it out of here?
It doesn't really change my attitude of someone still coming in and wanting to move a home out, because even though that home may be vacant, and let's just say it's not collecting rent. Maybe the person is deceased or they abandoned the home and they're not paying. There's still value in that home for me as the property manager, because just like an investor from outside, I would recommend to the owner to rehab that home. And because of the unique skill set that I have that maybe most property managers do not have, I would know how to go in and get that home rehabbed and change it around to get the income. But to speak for those managers who may not have that experience, they still, even though they may not know how to do it themselves, they still want to be able to speak to their owner to say, I don't know how to do it, and I don't know how to go about it, and I don't know how to even tell you how to begin to fix that home. But there's still value there.
A considerable value.
That's it. There's probably things that an investor doesn't think about when it comes to the owners of the park, which is, I've heard many investors say among my little group, well, we can go in and pull a home out because it won't really matter to the owner because they can just bring in another home. Or they may say things like, well, the owner probably wants to get rid of that home anyway because it's a 1970s or 80 or whatever, you know, it's an older model, and they'll bring in another home. I've heard of things like the cash program and things like that. Well, see, the problem is, let's think as investors. Let's put on our investor hat and let's think money. Even if I have a vacant spot and I, as an owner or property manager, bring in a home, that home is going to cost me something. Even if I'm good and I get it cheap, I get it for $500, I get it for free, it's still going to cost me money, because now I have to pay to move it. I have to pay to set it up. I have to pay to put the skirting. I mean, you can just keep going. And then not only that, during that time, I'm not getting lot rent. So I'm putting money out without getting money back in. So if we look at it from a money standpoint, it's not so much that the owners or property managers are just dipwads and they don't want anyone to make money. I mean, you know, to be honest, you know, some of them are, but most of them are not. But it's not that. It's really about the bottom line. That's really all it's about. So I would say look at it from that point of view when you're running your own numbers before approaching the manager or owner to say, hey, I want to move this home.
I know myself many years ago, I've had some of those thoughts only because I wasn't a park owner, and I was assuming the park owner's pockets are infinitely deep, and I was projecting onto them because I wanted to pull it out of there. You know, I was trying to convince myself, oh, the owner probably doesn't care, and the owner, I'm probably doing them a favor. And so anything just to rational, and plus I want to make some money. I want to rip it out of here and sell it to somebody and make a few quick couple grand. Do any of the parks that you're managing, or the one that you own, do any of them have a first right of refusal where you have the option to, if someone comes in and tries to buy a home for $5,000, the park can match that same $5,000 and buy the home from the seller instead? Do any of...
Yes, I have that in all of my contracts because I am an investor, so I know that that's going to happen. I will tell you the issue is that due to the demographics in a few of the parks, that does not translate, meaning that either people don't read the contract thoroughly, even though you remind them. They're used to dealing with each other in their own community.
Right.
So what ends up happening is they have someone that comes in or a friend and they have their circumstances and they're ready to move on. And so they just go to their friend or whoever, their cousin, and they say, hey, yeah, you can buy my home or you can have my home. And before you know it, the home has been sold.
Right. Maybe not even with an appropriate title, maybe not even with that they didn't get approved at the park, and they still plan on living there. But
that's it. That's it. And I've had that happen several times because I'll notice that the money order or the check has a different name on it. And I'm like, okay. So I knock on the door and say, ooh.
Who are you?
Hello, you're new. And then, oh yeah, I bought the home, and then I have to explain to them, I'm not difficult. I could use the clauses in the lease and say, blah, 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 blah. But like I said, some are dipwads and some are not. I happen to claim that I'm not one. So I don't do that. I just explain to them, look, the rules were not followed when this home was transferred to you. So as long as you're following the rules of the park and you're doing what you need to do, we won't have an issue. However, if you decide to sell this home, understand that I will not be as lenient with the person that you sell the home to. If someone approaches me and says, hey, I was approached to purchase this home, we're in the process of purchasing it. Before we do, understand that we're going to purchase it not to have it remain in the park, but to remove it from the park. And if we can have an open dialogue about that, like, okay, so what's your objective? Are you, do you have a piece of land or whatever? And they said, no, we're just wanting to make some money. If they approach me and they're honest, wouldn't do anything. Okay. I would try my best after I spoke to the owner, or let's say it's my park, I would try my best to keep the home in the park and understand this is business and I missed out on an opportunity and see if I can help them accomplish their goal of making some money. But if we cannot come to an agreement, then what I would do, and they still buy the home and they want to move it, I would tell them, I wish you the best. And that would be it. Okay. Because like you said, I do not have a right to force them to keep the home there in the park. Now, I would do everything I can so that I don't lose a home. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to lay in front of the truck. I'm not going to do any of those crazy things. But if I get an investor who's not upfront and honest, who tries to just come in one day, doesn't try to find out who I am, and they just come in and say, I bought this home, I have the title, I'm moving it, the truck's showing up tomorrow. Oh yeah, we're going to have an issue. But I'm not going to confront them. I'm still not going to lay in front of the truck. But that's when I will notify my fellow mobile home park owners and managers, hey, this person, nice guy, nice girl, but they are not going to come and tell you. If you see them, that means that they've made a deal behind your back and they're going to come in and they're going to take a home out of your park.
Going back to when you said you would talk to the owner, you would talk to the owner and see if you could buy that home from this man or woman investor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Correct. Because the thing is, remember, as a property manager, it's really going back to my two goals. My two goals is to maintain the appearance and to maintain the revenue or increase the revenue. However, I don't have the right just out of the blue to say no. I mean, I could, and the owner would never know. However, this business is all about relationship as well. This is a small niche market. So if I get the reputation as a property manager or owner that I'm just difficult to work with, I'm not reasonable, I'm not willing to think out the box or etc., then that's going to hinder me as well. So I'm not just telling the investor to be mindful of, yes, you're making money today, but will you make money tomorrow? I'm also saying that to myself. Yes, Stephanie, you can make or keep money today, but how long will you keep that money? Because I may need that investor. You forget, I may lose a home due to a fire or an individual homeowner moving their home out, or I may have vacant spaces. So I may need that investor or his or her friends. So I'm thinking full circle, not just at this one little particular circumstance.
Great point. Really great point. And even going to what you said, if they come to you like an adult and talk this out, obviously that's more of a person that you want to have that longer term relationship with.
That's it. That's it. And we are business people. So if you come to me and you say, and I want to move this home, and my immediate response would be, because I have this conversation with my owners up front so that I don't have to make that call. So I know immediately from the very beginning of taking over a park whether or not, hey, if someone comes in and wants to move a home, are there certain homes that you would be okay with? Or is it, no, I don't ever want a home moved out of my park. Do whatever you can to keep all of my homes. So I know that up front. So if I go to an investor and say, look, what can we work out? What are you trying to accomplish? And they say, look, I just have a piece of land that's vacant and this is going to be a perfect home for it. And it's a long-term play for me. I'm going to move it. I'm going to put someone in, whatever it is. And we have that conversation. I'm going to look at them and say, you know what? I get it. But I tell you what, can you do me a favor? Because these people are good people, right? Can you do me a favor? I'm sure there's some homes that you run across that don't meet your criteria. Would you let me know so that I can grab it and I'll pay you or whatever it is so that I can fill that vacant spot back up?
Wow. That is thinking long term. Boop. I wanted to interrupt this video only to mention a strategy. If you haven't been thinking this already, this is a strategy that we only use as mobile home investors in specific situations. Some investors might abuse this strategy. What the strategy is you're going to be, this is a mobile home inside of a mobile home park, and you take the title, you buy a mobile home from a seller in that community. You don't necessarily get approved at the park, but you take the title, and the title's now in your control. You can go up to that park office to say, Mrs. Manager, I'm now the new owner. I'm going to go ahead and get this home out of the community and sell it to someone that will give me a profit. I'm going to sell it to somebody, move it out of here. Or you can buy it from me for $20,000 or $15,000 or $10,000. So essentially you're giving the park an ultimatum, buy it from me or I'm going to pull it out. Not in those words, and you can be very tactful about it, and there are ways to, to tiptoe around different issues, but this is not something that you would want to do for a long-term business. But I sort of just wanted to make a mention that that strategy does exist to make some quick cash from a mobile home park. Now you will have to maybe move that home out of the park if the park doesn't want you to want to buy it themselves. But I sort of just wanted to make a mention that is a strategy. It's not a major strategy, or it shouldn't be in my opinion. But again, I wanted to point that out. And for the people that are doing that, you obviously know about it. And so now you can sort of understand a little bit more what's going on in a park manager's mind when they may not want the home removed from the community.
Yes and no. I would say there probably are some homes that we would be okay with them moving out because of the age. However, because of the unique skill set I have as an investor, rehabber, etc., I know how to go in there and take that 1970s or 60s home and fix it up so that it doesn't look its age.
It's desirable.
So yeah, it's desirable. But I have had it where I had a resident actually who came in, filled out the lease. We had the conversation. What's your plan for the home? He bought it from someone, came to me. In other words, everyone did what they were supposed to do. And he came to me and he said, I'm buying this home. And I said, what's your objective? Are you planning on living here? He says, yeah, I'm older. I'm retiring. I'm moving from up north and blah, blah, blah. I don't plan on going anywhere. And I said, great. Did the background check, did everything. Seemed like the person we wanted. And then he came back right before he was moving down because he paid rent for, I think, 3 or 4 months in advance because he wasn't ready to move. And he came back maybe 2 months in and he says, look, I want to be honest with you. I told you when I met you, I found some other properties or homes on land, but I could not make a deal work with any of them. And your park is in good shape and I like it. And so since I really need to move down and my time frame is dwindling, I decided to buy the home in your park. However, one of the land deals or one of the homes on land became available. And there's actually a spot to move another home because that home is older. So what I want to do is take the home out of your park and put it on that land. It was no brainer. I couldn't tell him he couldn't do it. I just told him, look, I appreciate and respect the fact that you told me and that you didn't just go, this is my home, I could do what I want. I said, however, we had a gentleman's agreement that you were going to be in the park. You paid this rent up front. So as a olive branch, you get to leave that lot rent here. And he did.
Yeah.
He did. And he said, totally fine. That makes perfect sense. He left it. He left the lot rent. He took the home. He cleaned up the lot, and that was it. I've since replaced that home, but
hey, good.
But yeah.
Did he sign any lease agreement or rules in that time?
He had the lease agreement, and in there, there is a little clause. You must not remove your home within the first year of buying the home, because we try to keep it as long as we can. But because again, he was honest, he was upfront. And he told me what he was doing with the home. I didn't have a problem with it. And because I know, again, I have a unique skill set that I could replace that home at some point. In that case, I do it as if I was the investor.
Okay.
So not the owner, not the property manager, I then put on my investor hat. And I say, okay, so they want to sell this home. They want to sell it for $3,000. What's the market? Maybe my owner doesn't want any rentals or rent to own. They straight want the lot rent. Then I would calculate it from there. Okay, $3,000 in this market. Can I find someone that can have that amount of money to cash out the home? If I cannot find that amount, someone that could do that, maybe I know in this market I can get $1,000 or $1,500 as a down payment. Typically, well, okay, my lot rent is X. How long is it going to take the owner to recoup that extra money put out? Is there a lot of rehab that needs to be done inside the house or outside the house? Hey, well, we're not going to have to do that even though we're getting this lower down payment. So I'm going through all of the investor thinking when that happens.
Understood. That makes
And if someone, wants $30,000 for a 1970s home, I'm like, that's not going to happen. And this is probably not going to work out, but I know that person's not going to be able to sell it to anyone else either. So then I'm just sitting there patient like a vulture, waiting in the room.
And there's no 70% of the NADA value. There's no like calculation like that.
No.
And I wasn't expecting that. It is more of a fluid thing depending on the condition, the size, the market at the time, what month it is, what else is for sale. And okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
A newer person, maybe they have it so built up in their mind, it's the park manager. Yeah, you're going to put your foot down. You're going to kill the deal. I'm not going to make the money that I think I might make. But on the other side of that, if they do approach you, let me ask you this question. If they approach you, they still pull the home out, you're not able to make a deal, they still pull the home out, they're respectable, would you not want to deal with them ever again, or would you potentially let them in still as an investor?
I would potentially let them in because now I know that you are respectful of my position, you're respectful of the owner, you understand this business. and that it's not simply just about making money for you in a short term. That if I have a home available and for whatever reason the owner doesn't want to deal with it, or maybe it's a bigger rehab than I can take on, and I go to you, I may even call that person. I may even call that investor and say, hey, I got this home. I know you pulled one out and you're probably working on that or whatever it is, but obviously this is what you do for a living. I have this home. Do you want to take it on? Because now I know I can talk the talk and have a good conversation with you. Whereas the person that's just coming in and just pulling homes out of my park and, you know, this is business and you can't tell me not to take a home out of your park, da, 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 da. That's not a reasonable person.
What if it's not an investor? What if it's, we've been thinking, you know, an investor's coming in. What if it's just a random, you know, John Doe who has a little piece of land who they just want, they don't want to buy 5 ever. They're not in this business. They just want to buy that one and move it out of there. I mean, I guess you're in the same position.
Same position, okay. Because I would get a profile. I would say, you know, what's your goal? What are you doing? Oh, well, you know, my grandma left me a piece of land and it's out in the country and I don't want to build a house. I just want to put a little mobile home on it. This guy's selling it for a really good deal. And it's been hard for me to find a home and this one matches it. There's not going to be an argument, you know? Now, depending on my part, I might say something like, you know, look, really don't want to lose a home. I want to be honest with you. You know, we're 100% occupied. Really don't want to have an empty spot. And I know you've been looking for a while. What can I offer you to make it worth your while to keep looking? You know what I mean? And wow. Be honest. Good way to say you know, that. Because the worst thing they can say is, nah, I still want it, right. You know? And then I just go, okay.
At your park, do you have a big signage in the front that says, you know, must consult with or must get approved before buying or anything, must see manager?
No. I have a pretty good relationship with a lot of the residents in the park. Okay. When I take over, I door knock, I do different things to get to know people.
Oh, good.
I'm usually on the property somewhere. Okay. So I talk to people quite a bit. And the ones that I know that seem like they'll be pretty transient, you know, I'll say every once in a while, you know, hey, if you ever decide to sell, you know, you got to let me know. You know, you got to let me know if you decide to sell. I would never stand in your way, but you have to let me know.
Do you also kind of pepper in the fact of, if you're ever looking to sell, let us know?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I let them know. Okay. Yeah, I let them know. I say, you know, hey, if you're looking to sell, honestly, in your lease, it does say that you have to give us a chance first before you go to anyone else. But I know you probably think we're not going to give you as much money as you're wanting. So I'm not even going to go that far. If you do that, great. Remember that option is there. But either way, you must let me know before you bring someone in, because I won't stand in your way. However, if you did not tell me and this person comes and wants to buy the home and they decide to move the home, that's going to be a problem.
Stephanie, thank you so much for being here, for answering these questions that I've been asking you in this kind of small, you know, just this small little area of mobile home investing we've been talking about for the last like 10, 20 minutes. How can people, you're very approachable, you're so nice and giving, you know so much in this industry. How can people, is it okay if people get a hold of you if there's any park owners that maybe will have management questions or may want your help with management or a broker type questions, or how can people, is it okay if people get in touch with you, or?
Sure. I have a website. It's www.McAnuff, which is my last name. It's McAnuff, like Frank, group.com. And I would be happy to answer any questions that anyone has, and listen to any complaints. Sure. Oh, no, but they get feedback. I love to get feedback of things that you've seen in the industry that has worked, whether on the broker or property management side or investor side. Yeah.
I'll list those links in the description for everyone listening. Thank you so much again for being here, Stephani. Anything you need moving forward, obviously call, text, email, I'm always here. But thank you again for just the breadth of experience you have from the broker side and the investor side, and so many hats that you're wearing, the management, and you have no, I mean, we were talking before this, but you're not slowing down. I mean, if anything, you're speeding up and just, so.
Yeah, having a blast.
There's more to come. Thank you again for being here. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you. Bye.
We're back. I want to wrap up this entire video by saying that you are an adult. You are going to make whatever decisions that you are going to make, and those decisions have consequences. If we can try to think about a park and have the park in mind, that may be helpful for a long-term business. And across the country, there's not many of us mobile home investors. Yes, there might be hundreds and hundreds, but there's not many that have been doing this for a long period of time that, you know, continue to have good reputations. Be one of those folks. And that kind of happens slowly over time. That's saying that reputations are slow to build, but quick to, when you have some negative press, you know, people are quick to talk about that, and your reputation goes down rather quickly. So just sort of making a mention, you can do obviously what you are going to do, but I hope that this video again gave you some more insights, when to move homes, when is easier, or when you should, what people are thinking. You know, if you don't have to move a home, do you want to? Do you need to? Are there other ways to go about business? So anyway, that was the video. Thanks so much for watching. If I didn't talk about your specific situation in this video, but it was close or something similar or not really, feel free to reach out to me directly. Comment below or reach out to me at support@mobilehomeinvesting.net. That's support@mobilehomeinvesting.net. You can also go to mobilehomeinvesting.net for more mobile home related questions and answers and videos and things to do. Please share this video. It was helpful. Please like and subscribe to the channel as well. Share it with a friend if you have any other weird mobile home friends that like mobile home investing. If you have any questions, you know what to do. I'll talk to you soon. My name is John Fedro. Bye-bye.